You've heard me for a whole year now talk about deep learning education, because I know for the survival, for the growth, for the development of humanity, deep learning education has to be the prime mindset, the prime learning mindset for the majority of humans. Because right now, as AI is growing and developing, and especially as AI is growing and developing in accessing so much data and so much information, and has the capacity to follow process better and far, far more superior than humans, it's not a luxury, it's not just something that makes you feel good. Deep learning education is the now, is the way every brain model should be trained on. Every kid, every student right now should be learning deep learning education, learning how to learn deeply. And let me just break it down a little bit more further, because I've just wrote this down on the whiteboard. But I have been talking about AI, and I've been involved in AI, artificial intelligence, now for more than 12 years. And literally for the first 10 years, I was writing about AI, I was talking about AI, and most people didn't know much about what I was talking about. Most people didn't even know about AI. Now everyone's talking about AI. Now everyone's kind of a little bit scared and fearful that they're going to lose their job. What am I going to do? How does the future look for my kids? Etc, etc, etc. And that's how the future's become in a very short period of time. ChatGPT changed the ball game. Everyone now is talking about AI. We are in the AI era. Remember, I've been talking about AI now for 12 years. You go look at my posts 5-6 years ago, I was putting posts out on AI. I've been involved in AI for 12 years. So for me, this is nothing surprising. I've been talking about this. So I'm talking to you now about deep learning education. If deep learning education, there's nothing else. There's either deep learning education or there's surface learning education. And the education system, unfortunately, for whatever the purpose and reasons, is not teaching deep learning education. There's a small percentage of the world, a very, very small percentage of the world, that came out of an education system as deep learners. And that small percentage of the world control the whole world. They control everything. They are also developing AI, which is going to eventually control everything. My theory is this: for the sake of humanity, for the sake of everything that humans stand for, and the belief that humans must always dominate this planet, humans need to become deep learning. Humans need to become deep learning mindsets. And deep learning education, and what is it? It's about solving problems towards your ecstatic desire. Solving problems towards your ecstatic desire. Absence of an ecstatic desire means you're a surface learner. As simple as that. What's an ecstatic desire? Finding an ecstatic desire is not just about a passion. It's more than that. It's not just about a hobby. It's more than that. Finding your ecstatic desire is a skill set. And once you learn that skill set of your brain eventually evolving towards its own personal ecstatic desire, which is 90% of the work, you're a deep learner. The rest of the stuff, the actions towards your ecstatic desire, that's the easy stuff. That's the fun stuff. 90% of the work is actually finding your ecstatic desire. This is why 99% of most online courses, literally 99% of all education, creates surface learning education. In other words, not much change happens. Yes, you will learn information. Yes, you will learn data. And the system, the surface learning education system, basically was all about memorization, was all about self-labeling. So whoever could memorize best, whoever had the ability of memorizing best, got a better mark. And so if you weren't good at memory, or if you weren't interested in the topic, or if that interest, or if you were learning some topic and you weren't attentive on that day because you were daydreaming about something else. And I was a big daydreamer. I used to daydream about other things. The thing is, what happens, you may not have done well in that test, and hence you were labelled as a grade. which was wrong. Those self-labels were wrong. And the problem with that is those self-labels that most people got from the education system were confined to a certain specific industry or a certain specific jobs, and most people followed that for the rest of their lives when it was wrong. Because every single human being has genius potential. The moment you find joyfulness and ecstasy in your body and in your brain, that's where the genius lives. And if you maintain that for a long period of time, you will change the world. And you will be fulfilled. That's the only way to get to your best self. And the thing is, for the sake of the kids now coming through, for the sake of people that are in jobs right now where we know AI is going to take over, deep learning education isn't just some luxury and a choice. It's a lifestyle, because once you experience it, you'll never go back. It will change everything in your life. But you need to find your ecstatic desire first, which is something that I train. And so the deep learning education is where genius life lives, is where excitement lives, is about solving problems, is about adventure, is about self-reflection on a daily basis. It's a fulfilled life. It is about being creative and being a creator. It is about being the leader of your life. Surface learning is about someone else leading your life. Deep learning education is about you leading your life. People chasing you for your services, not you begging and chasing someone else and then being nice to someone who's not nice to you because you need them. No, we don't become dependent on others. We become independent. That's what deep learning education is all about. And it's fun. It's easy to learn. It's a skill set. It takes practice. It takes you getting into a habit, because once you switch that mind and once you find that ecstatic desire, game over. And if you think about surface learning, what did it create? All it was information data collector. Information data collector. That's what surface learning is. And people can read 1,000 books. You're just collecting information. You can go out and read all these books and do all these PhDs and you're still at the same level. Because you're just collecting data, you're collecting information, you're writing an essay, you think you should do it that way, you're collecting data, information. That's not deep learning. Deep learning is chasing your ecstatic desire, being unafraid of making mistakes, being unafraid of failure. And what happens is when you're chasing that ecstatic desire, and it's different for everybody, everyone's got a different ecstatic desire. Remember, an ecstatic desire is not a passion or a habit, it's beyond that. It's where you'll find joyfulness and ecstasy for the rest of your life, because you're chasing something, and those actions you're chasing towards your ecstatic desire is ecstasy. And that's where genius lives. You never want to live an alternative life after that. But surface learning education, what did it produce? Memorization. It created an automation, a process where people have automated their lives. I mean, I'm talking now, it's 31st of December today, and I'm talking to people and they're telling me, oh, how fast this year's gone. Oh, it's been so fast, I can't remember what happened. For me, it's gone really slow. This year's been a long year and it's gone really, really, really slow. And everyone's telling me, oh, how fast it's gone. Why? Because the year's been automated. Next year's going to be exactly the same. Not much is going to change to the day you'll die if you're a surface learner. For me, this year as a deep learner, it's been one of the slowest years. It's been a long year. Look back and I've done so much. And everything that I've done has not been in automation. And all my students that are coming through, they're telling me it's been a long year. In other words, time slows down because you're living the life of an adventure. You're solving problems. It's not on automation. And of course, what happens to most people, they end up 30, 40 years down the track and, oh my God, time's gone so fast. Why? No, time hasn't gone so fast. Time is time. 24 hours is 24 hours. It's gone so fast because it's just been automated all the way to get the day you die. It's been automation. You're doing exactly the same things over and over and over again. That's what surface learning education has taught. That's what surface learning education is teaching the kids right now. Right now, the system, the flawed education system, And again, there's some great teachers in that flawed education system, but the system in itself now is that flawed. It's actually worse than during my period. And I've spoken to a lot of teachers about that who know this, but are too scared to admit it because they're afraid of getting sacked. But it's actually worse because it's all about information. What this world needs is problem solvers. That's what we need, adventurers, creators, people that want to take risks, unafraid to make mistakes and fail. That's what this world needs. And we need it now more than ever because we've got to think about all these problems that we need to solve. And you know what, as a deep learner, you'll never be afraid of AI. Because AI is going to become your best friend as a deep learner. You will use AI to enhance yourself and to enhance humanity by solving the problems. See, AI can be your best friend because AI does surface learning. AI does information, does automation, does all this better than a human. So why would you want to do something that AI already does? Deep learning education is about using our feelings and emotions because we've got consciousness. AI will never have consciousness. AI will never have consciousness. AI does not understand what it's doing. It's following a process. It's reproducing information. It looks, it pretends to be smart. It acts smart. Doesn't understand anything it's doing. Doesn't understand anything because it's got no consciousness. And that's why we have the advantage, and that's why humans as deep learners will use this to create and keep creating and solving problems towards your ecstatic desire. Surface learning education, what did it create? First of all, it gave a bad experience for many, many people. Many people came out of a system stressed and they hated learning. I speak to people right now and they say, "Oh, Russ, I really hate education. I'm your mate and I want to do your courses, but I really hate education. I'm not cut out for education." And that's the kind of feeling education gave because it was surface learning. It's boring, creates anxiety and stress. Who wants to be reading books and memorizing and doing tests? The whole system was flawed. That's why most people came out of it feeling vulnerable and following a small little window where they got a job or got into some kind of position for the next 30, 40 years of their life. And it became automated. The problem is this game's over. That game is over. That's why people like Bill Gates and others are talking about 3-day working weeks now. They're promoting that we should be working 3 days a week, and then they're going to be promoting you work 2 days a week because they're seeing the writing on the wall. What are surface learners going to do? So we will reduce their hours. That's the future, what these guys are thinking. And I'm saying, no. Don't think that way. Don't think 3-day weeks and 2-day weeks because eventually we'll become no-day weeks and eventually humans are going to become like pets. Humans need to be here. The majority of humans need to be here. Deep learning education, finding your ecstatic desire and then solving problems towards that ecstatic desire because the moment you nail it, the moment you hit that, the moment you feel that and live that life, not only you become a leader and a creator, not only will you start teaching others as well and bringing others to the group, but as humans, together, we get together as deep learners to create and solve problems for tomorrow, and we use AI for the benefit of humanity, not AI starts using us for the benefit of machines.